Next question is to you, Mr. Courtney.
Yes, sir.
What sanctions do you foresee being levied against an attorney who fails to show up or is not prepared for pre-trial or trial? Are you willing to take a strong stance against these attorneys? And now,
That's a good question. Of all the judges that I've admired and who I've been in front of are the judges that most of the lawyers fear. And why do they fear them? It's not because they're hard. It's not because they're unfair. It's because they're demanding. They demand that the lawyers that are in front of them be prepared to be ready. Not to give them lip service while they're not. Certainly not to give them lip service while they're not there. The first job is to be there, on time, and ready. Absolutely, I would advocate coming down on lawyers that don't do that. There's something called contempt of court. It's in the judge's power to hold anybody, any lawyer who is not following the court's rules, to hold them in contempt of court. That certainly is a tool available, and I certainly wouldn't be hesitant to use it if I had lawyers coming into my court that were unprepared or just plain old not showing up. And I'll tell you, if they were on the court-appointed list, they wouldn't be there anymore. It's unprofessional.
John, repeat it. We run the most efficient court in the history of this county. We run a tight ship. The fact of the matter is that people move their cases. We'll handle more cases in a good morning than my opponent has handled in 4 years in this county, more felony cases. The fact is that we keep a tight rein on that and work to move those cases. But I think we do it as well as any judge in this county, and we do it better as well as any other court in the history of this county.
Okay, the last question goes to Judge Henry. And this is a question basically that was brought up from our different organizations from both courts, and Mr. Courtney alluded to it a minute ago. Subpoenas are issued for cases, and frequently officers do not find out until the last minute whether or not their case will go to trial. Officers have to sit for hours or wait for days for their time on the stand when the case finally is called for trial. This often results in the officer losing sleep, lost wages, and manpower shortages on the streets. What can you do to help make this problem more manageable and ensure more timely appearances for officers and witnesses in a trial?
The way we do it is we have a Thursday jury docket. So for the most part, almost all the time, we know whether we're going to have a jury trial on Thursday. In other words, on Thursday, we know that we're going to have a jury trial for the next Monday. That gives the prosecutors lead time, it gives the defense attorneys lead time, it gives law enforcement lead time. Now, there are times where there is a last-minute plea deal. We don't like that. We get the lawyers in and talk to them about how they've wasted time. But for the most part, we know early on. Another way to handle that system, or that problem, is to go ahead and run a tight ship on a jail. In other words, I usually try cases probably faster than any other judge, because I don't want my law enforcement officers, I don't want my victims sitting around the courtroom for hours and hours at a time. The fact is that we're more efficient than the other courts. I believe we're more efficient than any court in the history of this county.
Mr. Courtney, your question repeated?
No, thank you. I think the mere fact that the question is being asked illustrates some of the shortcomings. That question wouldn't be asked if those issues were being properly addressed. I agree with Judge Henry. I advocate managing of the cases efficiently. I too practice in those courts. I too appear on those announcement documents. But many times we don't know what cases are going to trial the next Monday. Nobody. Prosecutors, defense attorneys, much less the witnesses or the victims. Witnesses usually being law enforcement officers. I've been in many jurisdictions where the judge sternly tells everybody there, look, these are the cases that are going, period. Be here Monday ready to go. Tell your witnesses be here Tuesday morning, ready to go. I think a firm hand on the tiller keeps cases moving along. I hate to use it as an example, but Harris County, one of the largest court systems in the state, for all of the problems that it does have, the one thing it doesn't have is efficiency and an ability to move a vast number of cases through its courthouse. Many, many trials. You can get a felony case to trial in Harris County in 4 or 5 months if need be. There's no reason why it couldn't happen here. And that spills over into jail overcrowding and all the other problems that are indicative of the question being asked. Thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, each one of you gets 3 minutes to make a closing statement. We'll start with you.
Follow up question. We do a jury document once every 2 weeks. We're picking a jury, scheduling cases once every 2 weeks. My opponent has had 1 jury trial in front of me. That being said, though, I think that the reason we're here so late on a night like tonight is that we love this community. We think it's the best place in the world to live. The best decision I ever made was marrying a San Marcos girl. We've been married for 24 years now. We have 2 children, and I get up every morning and, number 1, thank the good Lord for my blessings. Number 2, try to work to make this place a better place to live for all of us and our families. Part of that is understanding that violent people come into this community, that they need to be held accountable for their actions, that the tax dollars that are being spent are not my dollars, but they're your dollars, and that we need to spend them wisely. Third, to be invested in this community and try to make it a better place every day, to serve my community and do the very best I can to make it better for all of us. I ask for your support, I ask for your endorsement, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Well, I too thank my lucky stars that I drug my bride up here. She's originally from Kerrville. She didn't live real sure about San Marcos. I think she likes it. She says she's going to stay with me. So I think that's self-evident. We do love this community. That's why we chose it. That's why we came up here. And one reason why I want to run is I want to help improve it. I think Hayes County is on the edge of, you've heard all the other candidates talk about growth. Well, I've seen what it'll do in courts. I've seen it in Montgomery County, in Fort Bend County, in Galveston County, in Collin County, up in Williamson County. I've seen it. If the courts don't keep a hold of the burgeoning dockets, it gets out of control. Luckily, we have a low ground rate here, but it doesn't matter what the rate is. If the population grows, the numbers are going to go up. That's simple math, thank goodness, because that's all I can do is simple math. Accountability, I totally agree. Accountability. Efficiency of court, I totally agree. The problem is right now, we have a court that over 31% of the cases that go up on appeal come back from the appeals courts either reversed or modified or remanded. They're over 31%. That's not efficient. That's not excellence. It costs the people of Hayes County money. It's not efficient. It costs the citizens of Texas money. So when I hear that the courts are running more efficiently than ever, I ask myself, why are the questions that are being asked being asked? I disagree with Judge Henry that being that involved in the community makes him a better judge. I disagree. A judge, in my opinion, should be separate and apart from the political fray, because those are the people that are going to come from that judge and ask him to make hard decisions about who's right and who's wrong. And that judge can't have a dog in the fight. I don't owe anybody. I'm not a member of every civic organization there is. I owe nobody. I am a self-made man, but for my ex-partner that taught me many, many things about the practice of law and the support of my family and my wife, I'm a self-made man. I owe nobody. I don't owe the governor for my job. I don't owe the commissioners for creating the court. I'm asking the citizens of Hays County to put me on that bench, and I'm asking local law enforcement to consider a suitable candidate to do the job. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for judge of the 428th District Court, your candidates, Scot Forum and Bill Henry.